So
I think that maybe the best way would just be to have like an open conversation about it. You know, sit there and be like, hey, I need to sit with you, have a genuine conversation. Like, let's talk about this. I have this thing that you might want to know. It doesn't affect me, but it does affect me. Mm-hmm. And some of the things we might have to do, we might have to take breaks, we might have to do this. I'll cough a little bit more, but you're not going to catch anything. Mm-hmm. But I can catch what you have. Mm-hmm. So if you're sick, stay away.
Yep.
I got cystic fibrosis. See, I've got cystic fibrosis.
I'm Kelsey. I'm Miranda's best friend. We've known each other since we were like 2 or 3.
My name is Katie. First time we met, we were going to Catherine's dance recital.
I wanted to switch it up this video. Instead of me telling you how I tell people about my CF, I figured I'd let the people that I've told tell you from their perspectives. We've been friends for so long, you don't technically remember ever being told, hey, yo, I have CF. We kind of just learned about it together as we grew older and things started to happen.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell everyone how you felt about having to grow up or choosing to grow up, choosing to grow up and be friends with someone and learn what CF is?
It's different. There was constantly like, because I mean I was kind of right there with you when you were being told like, oh, you're not going to make it till this point, or oh, you're not doing well, or anytime your mom would be like, Miranda's in the hospital again, you were in there for extended times, like that kind of sucks, not knowing if I'm gonna have a best friend at the end of the week or not, you know. And like that was always hard. And even now, I mean, like, sure, medicines are getting better, but like I don't know, I'm just kind of lucky to have you around now. But like, I don't know, growing up with someone who was sick was like, I never really thought about it too much, other than, you know, like every now and then you have those moments of like, well, you know, like I remember our family saying like, you know, like, well, the doctors say Miranda, he's so nasty. Like, you know,
the doctors say, Miranda, you so nasty. Okay, continue.
Bringing it back. Like doctor saying like, you know, like Miranda might not live to be 10, and then you made it to 10, and then it was like, okay, well, we'll just kind of see, maybe 12. And it was kind of like that, well, you know, like I don't know if I'm going to be that kid who loses her best friend at a really young age, or if we're going to get to be 22 years old together making YouTube videos or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? And so like it was that weird, like, well, maybe, you know, like it would suck to lose, especially, you know, like when you would be sick or like in the hospital, your lung functions would get lower. You were, you know, just dealing with all the different things you were dealing with. But like, I don't think about it often, but when I do, it's kind of like, well, yeah. Also, I had like this moment when you're like, we choose each other. And I wanted to be like, Pikachu, I choose you. But that's because I'm lame and awkward. But like, we're both kind of sick kids, so like at the same time, at like your being sick doesn't really like bother me as much because I've got like my issues on my own. So like, you need a break, I take a break too. It's fine. Like we always have under each other. Like we always had like our moments of like, oh yeah, like we're not feeling well today, but like, I mean, obviously on different scales, you know.
Yeah.
We function well together. We're two halves of a almost.
I remember hearing you coughing a lot, and I was like, wow, she must be sick. Because you were really hoarse, too.
Yeah, I was really hoarse that day.
So I was like, oh, okay, she must be sick, whatever. Well, it was like, I don't know how much later. It was maybe like a month later or something. It was the bowl-a-thon.
You were working at American Eagle. We got those dresses. And then after that, we invited you to the bowl-a-thon.
Yes.
Did you find out about my CF at the bowl-a-thon?
No, it was after. We were all hanging out.
Well, it was a CF bowl-a-thon.
It was a CF bowl-a-thon, but I didn't know what we were there for.
Yeah.
I didn't know like that's what it was for.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought, oh, it was like a fundraiser or something. And then we hung out. Where did we go? I don't remember where we went, but it was me, you, and Catherine, and we went go have lunch, and we were hanging out somewhere. And it was like the first time we like officially
Hung
out besides the bowl-a-thon.
Yeah.
And Catherine was talking about you like having one of your coughing spells in one of the stores. And the one was like, oh my God, you're okay. And Catherine's like literally saying, no, she's not okay. She's dying. No, seriously, she's dying. And you're like over there in the corner crying because you're laughing
We were in
so
Victoria's
hard.
Secret.
And you're crying because you're laughing so hard. And I'm just like, wait, what? Like, I thought she was joking.
Yeah.
And she was telling me the story. So I didn't think anything of it. And she's like, no, literally, she's dying. She has cystic fibrosis. And you're like, yeah, I have CF. Like, and you were kind of explaining a little bit about it. But I didn't quite, like, understand. So I was like, what is that? So later on, I want to say it was either that night or another night, but I Googled it. And I was like, oh, like, this is some serious stuff. And it just so happened that I was following the Furchess twins on Instagram, and I was like really big into the Furchess twins for the longest time. So I kind of knew a little bit about it, and I was like, oh, she has the same thing they have. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, that sucks. I mean, it's cool, but it sucks.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of how I figured it out. Like, that's how I kind of got to know it. And then, like, being friends with you, I like for so long now, like, I started to see the signs and like the symptoms and like what you have to go through, and the fact that I came into your life at the time when your health was at its worst.
The worst it's ever been. Like not many people walk into someone's life when they're at 30% lung function,
like,
and they have a cancer scare.
This is when they dropped to 30%. And like we were the only, like I was the only one there after that because like everybody left. So it was literally just me and you, and I was here like every day with you. Like literally every day I was at your house.
Yeah. You helped me get through a lot of that.
Yeah, I did. I remember that. Countless nights. Like we seriously thought you were gonna die.
I know.
And like every day I'm still learning new things about it and knowing like what medication does what. I remember one day we sat there and we counted how many pills you had to take in the morning and at night. And it was 23 at the time.
It's 23 at the time. Now it's at like 40 something.
Yeah. And you just take them all by the handfuls. And I'm just like, how do you do that? I barely can swallow one without gagging because I hate pills.
Since we've grown up together, there's been a lot of times that I remember that I felt uncomfortable telling people about my CF, or I didn't know them as well and you would know them better, or, you know, whatever. And you would be the one to tell them, you know, hey, yo, she's sick. Like, it's kind of whatever. How did you feel about having to do that or choosing to do that? And what kind of would you say?
Never really minded it because, like, I don't know, that was like normal for me, you know, like say, hey, I have a best friend. Her name's Miranda. She's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know, because CF doesn't define you. But then if it's like, oh, we're going to go make all of these plans and do all of these things and be like, cool, Miranda's coming with us. She has CF. Sometimes we're going to have to take some breaks and it's going to be chill. And that's pretty much it. Once people like get to like know us a little better, like into the circle, then I feel like, okay, now let's explain. You know, Miranda has fibrosis, and basically means that it, you know, her lungs don't really function as well as other people's, and it, you know, it's her lungs fill up with fluid, and so she has to cough it up a lot. So she's gonna cough like a lot. She's mostly fine, and we're gonna have to stop and take breaks. Like, you know, we can't run around a water park all day or whatever activity we're doing.
Or we can, we just like have to like sit down and like eat a bunch of nachos, then we can continue.
So much food. But yeah, you know, just kind of like that kind of stuff.
So being friends with me and being so informed and constantly learning about everything, you've become a really big advocate. Like, you're wearing a CF shirt right now.
Yes, I am. This is the one I got at the bowl-a-thon the first time.
Yeah.
First met, this is the one.
That's a perfect shirt to wear for this video.
Yes, it is. That's what I thought about. I was like, it was sitting on my chair, and I was like, maybe I should wear that shirt.
Yeah.
So,
that's perfect.
Yep, that's the one I chose to wear.
I love it. But I know you've told, like, you have a giant family, and you've told your family about it, and your friends you've informed, your boyfriend you've informed.
Damn, Brad.
You know, like, how do you feel about telling other people about it, and what do you tell them?
Well, I feel like it's important to spread awareness because, like, people like me, I had no idea
Yeah.
what CF was. I didn't know it existed. Like, I knew the Furgess twins had it, but I didn't know exactly
The extent
what it
of it.
did.
Yeah, you just knew they had something.
I just knew they had something and they were always sick.
When did she tell you about my CF? Did she tell you before we met, after we met?
Mostly before we met.
How did she tell you? How did you feel about the information she was telling
I
you?
was kind of confused because she sucks at explaining things sometimes.
I told you, that's why I said Google explains it better than I do.
Well, I Googled it for a little while. I started reading it. I started looking at pictures like, that gotta hurt.
It gotta hurt. What gotta hurt? Like the lungs and
Yeah,
stuff?
you cough. It's
Yes,
gotta hurt.
it does. Is there any ways that you think someone would take it better than others? Unlike Catherine screaming, "She's dying!" in the middle of Victoria's Secret, what is a bad way to tell someone that you have CF? Or to tell someone about it?
Well,
Tell it in a rude way.
I think the best way if you're as bad at explaining things as I am would be to Google it.
Yeah. How would you prefer me to tell you?
I don't know, just kind of what you did, like with not the way Catherine did it, but just I don't know, like bring it up in conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Just say like, okay, well, since we're sitting here, or like since we've been friends for so long, or if we're gonna be friends, there's something you need to know. I have cystic fibrosis, and I say, oh well, what is it? And you'd be like, well, it's kind of hard to explain. Google is probably the best way to understand everything because there's so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the best way you can do it is to sit down and like have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
When like we would tell like a new friend or something about my CF, like is there any point that you felt kind of weird about it?
I don't think so. Not really. I think the only time I've ever been like uncomfortable or mad was first brought it up to somebody. But when somebody who's known us for a very long time decided to make some stupid ass remark at a dance studio saying that certain things should happen, yeah.
Yeah. I agree. It's the people that know or that are going to make the remarks that, yeah.
Not like telling anybody, but like, I don't know, some people are assholes.
Being friends with me and seeing me at my worst and choosing to stay and learn about everything, like what have you learned from that? What have you gotten from being friends with someone that is sick and dying? And
Well, it's definitely opened my eyes to the world, like, because, you know, like, I was kind of sheltered as a kid, and, you know, like, it's one of those things where, like, you don't think that these kinds of things really happen and really go on in the world until you befriend somebody who has one of those things, like one of those illnesses that everybody talks about. It's really brought a lot in, like, it made me learn a lot about the world and about people.
Ava too.
And how it can really affect somebody and how serious things really are and how sometimes people can have a disease but it's like invisible.
Yeah.
Like yours. Like just looking at you, you'd never be able to tell you're sick.
Mm-hmm.
But when you really get to hang out with you and like you know the signs of certain things, you can tell.
Yeah.
And now because of being friends with you, there's a lot of like CF people I follow and there's a lot of research going on and like I Google stuff about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And about all the new research they're doing on it and searching for the cure, and hopefully one day there is one.
I love you, and I think that you are who you are, and that CF doesn't really define you, but like you handle your CF and you like mold your life around it in the ways that you need to, and that people are either going to take the time to get to know you and want to be a part of that, or they're going to do their own thing. And if they're going to do their own thing, you don't need them in your life.
The basic message.
Research.
Do your research. be gentle when telling them, because if you just look at someone and go, hey, yo, I'm dying or whatever,
Or
it could
just
be a
scream
little
at them,
harsh.
oh my God, I'm dying!
Yeah.
That might send them running for the hills.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't
Try to take their feelings into consideration, but also take your own feelings into consideration, and don't let people walk all over you in the fact of them not taking you seriously, but also understand that they're probably still trying to understand themselves. And Google. This video should be called Google It.
Yep.
Just hashtag Google it.